You talk about how proud you are of me and how proud you are to be seen with me and how proud you are to be around me. I feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I told him I'ma hit it out of stands. I deserve another 100 bands.
Welcome to another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire. Road trip edition.
Yeah.
Jesse Joy, we are
all the way down PCH.
cruising down
fun.
PCH in my 6'4". No, what's the Escalade? But what's the
Yeah, you got it right.
Was it my 6'4"?
I think so.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Nailed it.
Just the homeboys with an attitude.
Straight out of
Compton. All right, we've got a concept that we're excited about. We're not just excited to be driving down PCH together because we do this all the time, but the concept for us is this watering your partner concept. And before we jump in and get too deep into it, I want to remind everybody, don't be a nerd.
Oh gosh.
Spread the word.
Even on the road.
Don't be a nerd, spread the word. Don't be a jerk. Remember to twerk at every dance party you're at.
Wow.
I don't know, dude. But bottom line is, if you've gotten value from this show in any way, shape, or form, share it. Send it to somebody. Hey, for you guys, send it to your buddies who you know are not getting laid. Say, hey, I think this might help you. We need to raise up a group of guys that are willing to share with their buddies, hey, you probably need help in the old vagina department. So send this to your buddies. What do you think, Jess? We don't say the word vagina on our show, or
I guess
what?
we should, huh?
I guess we should. Okay, well, this concept is something that you and I came up with together as we were just having an amazing staycation.
On our way home, yes.
We had such a fun time going to the Coldplay concert. You love Coldplay. I love concerts.
One of my favorite bands.
Gotta
let everyone know.
It was quite an exciting adventure for you and I because we got to be so connected, go to our favorite restaurant. You got to share some real intimate details about your life with me that I loved hearing.
Yeah, I'll just share it right now because it was amazing.
Yeah.
Lately I've been feeling like we just started our relationship.
Yeah. Like
the beginning, like how fun it was, how freeing. I even said something was fun and you really liked it. I said, in the beginning of relationships, you're like, yeah, let's try that. And then you're with someone for a long time and then you're like, no, don't do that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be more comfortable. And I feel like we're at that point in our relationship where it feels fresh and new and exciting and fun.
Yeah, and to be a little more specific, not that you weren't specific, but to be a little more hyper-specific, when you're in the sack with someone new, there's usually a spirit of adventure that kind of is in the air with two new lovers just kind of fingering and fiddling and, putting things in beautiful places.
Well, like, you can't be like, no, don't do that. Then they'll be like, well, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, who's this prude? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll just yes to everything.
So you were saying, like, isn't that because we're so free and we're having so much fun in every area of our life right now. We're like, wow, man. It was like almost an aha for you, like, well, why? I'll do everything and anything with you. You're my guy,
Let's do it.
So,
and then it's been fun,
dude,
and it feels fresh and like new again.
To think that we've been able to get to a point after 12 years where we literally feel, and I feel the same way. So when you said it to me, I was like, I resonate with that. It feels like kind of like we're in Boston together. We're like that was our first week
trip
of dating was in Boston, and that is so. Man, cracking the code over and over again. I didn't know, but I think what you said was so beautiful. You talk about how proud you are of me and how proud you are to be seen with me and how proud you are to be around me. I feel the same way about you.
Yeah.
But I want to be honest with the people. You haven't always felt that way, especially when I'm a little heavier. You're like, yeah, you still got the best personality, still a great dude, but.
Well, let me say why.
Yeah.
It's because I know how smart you are, and yes, you were doing amazing things, but not to your potential.
Yeah. Yes.
And I knew what more is in there.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we're doing it, and I'm so proud of you now.
Yeah.
That's why I feel that way.
Well, that's kind of what led that same concept is what led to a post I posted a while ago. Just, actually before you told me that, I was like, the reason why most guys, they go, man, I want my wife to be proud of me. It's like, well, what have you done to make yourself proud of yourself? And what have you done? Like, what are we supposed to be proud of you for? That you get up and go to work? Like, that's just regular old basic man shit. And then come home and be entitled. And then come home and be entitled.
Yeah, your job doesn't end. You're still a dad, you're still a husband.
That was another really interesting concept you and I have been talking about lately that I thought was really interesting, is like, so many guys, they just go to work and then they come home, and sometimes their wife even works as well, and then they're just like, okay, I made it home, now you guys get to
now
serve
feed me and fuck me.
Yeah, feed me and fuck me and make me feel good, as opposed to, I'm here now to serve.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, leadership, again, to quote the great rabbi from Nazareth that so many people like, Jesus, he said, if you want to, for those of you who want to be great, learn to become the servant of all. And what he meant by that is simple. When you serve other people, they look at you differently. I'm talking about not just as a servant, like, oh, this is just the server, this is just our lowly wait staff, like some people treat servers. But the example he gave is he undid his loincloth and got a water basin and washed these cruddy, muddy, disgusting feet of his disciples and said, I washed your feet, now go wash each other's feet, meaning be there for each other even when shit gets dirty. And I believe that's why entrepreneurs are paid so handsomely, is because they actually are the servants of all. Entrepreneurship, building a business, is all about, how do I serve this person in the highest degree to help them reach their highest degree. So you talking about being proud of me because you see me tapping in and pushing the boundaries of my potential right now.
Yep.
Makes me feel proud, obviously, and I want my girl to look at me. But I think that's also why there's been so much fun in our marriage, that why there's this, the sex is just, it's just got this new, fresh, fun electricity to it. And so we head to Coldplay, we have this amazing weekend, and as we're driving back, there's this concept that we
just got pumped, didn't we?
We got pumped up on life.
We were so excited, and we just kept like, we were excited to talk about the future and new concepts or how we feel. And a lot of these concepts that we come up with are, we just start talking about how we feel or our relationship, and then we start coming up with things. Yeah. Building on top of it.
Yeah. We're like, okay, so we got here. I kind of needed that.
You pushed it to me.
I pushed it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you just turned it off. We're fighting over the AC. There we go. This new concept in our marriage is about fighting over the AC. No.
No, I'll help you.
This concept that came out of this thing that we're like, okay, we're feeling certain ways about each other that we haven't felt in 12 years. And man, I already thought our marriage was like amazing. Still better than anything I'd ever seen or experienced. And I was like, okay, well, what's this new wrinkle? What's happening here that's causing this to experience? And the concept hit both of us. It's like watering your partner.
Yeah.
You guys like plants in our house. I don't know much about plants, but I do
love...
They're
not my fave, but they're in the house. I like them in the house. I'd kill them, so...
I love God's favorite plant that He gave us. I don't water them
very good.
Mary Jane.
Oh, yes.
So that plant has changed my life. But if we look at a plant, they always tell you, okay, where are you going to put this in the house? It's got to get this amount of sunlight. It's got to get this amount of water.
Yeah, you read on it first.
You go, okay, what is this?
And they choose, like I choose an easier plant to take care of.
Yeah.
But I know what it entails, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So it's like this plant that doesn't hug you back, doesn't fuck you, doesn't provide for you, doesn't cook for you, doesn't listen to you and have great wisdom when you're down and out. This plant does nothing, but yet we follow the instructions like, okay, hold on, wait a second. And then we got this plant needs this much water, it's got to have this sunlight.
Not in too much sunlight, kind of in the shade or all the way in the sunlight, whatever it takes.
But here's the other thing that's really interesting amongst the next 17 things we're going to say that's interesting about plants. We don't yell at the plant if it gets brown. We take ownership and responsibility of ourselves and go, you know what? I haven't been watering that thing very well. I haven't cared for and handled this plant very well.
Yep.
and we go, that's on me.
Yep.
But yet with our partner, we're like,
well, you didn't do the
what the
things.
fuck's wrong with you? Why are your leaves wilting? Why are you
Yeah.
withering, dickhead? What's the problem? And so I felt like this concept creates a couple of understandings. Number one, dude, as humans, there is some care and handling instruction. We like to be seen and heard and understood. We like to be wanted. We like to be liked. As guys, we like to be touched and fucked and made like feel like we're the man. Women, you like for us to serve and show up in acts of selflessness just because. So like there's these things that we know as men and women that men and women love. And the other thing that we tagged on top of this, and I think this one was both for you and I, were like, well, shit, your care and handling instructions really would only take me 15 or 20 minutes a day of real focused effort.
That's it.
But yet, I don't feel like the modern man understands. I feel like he thinks he's got to do these super duper, superhuman, heroic feats.
It's not the big things, it's the little watering every day.
Watering every day,
Yep.
sunlight every day, a little bit of food when they need it.
Yeah.
Don't plants need a little bit of food every once in a
Yeah,
while?
they do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and for most guys, if their wife was to spend 15 minutes a day in a way that his care and feeding instructions made him feel his best.
Yep.
Not just spread them, but spread them. But with a
intention,
heart, a heart that says,
I love you. This is why
I love
I'm doing
you,
this.
and
I care for our life and our relationship, and I care for you.
now here's where the pitfall, I believe, happens.
Okay.
Is we both know this. I think any guy and any woman in a marriage would go, okay, that makes sense. There's got to be something that these people want. My spouse wants to be touched and loved and told he's the man, and my spouse wants to feel like he's present. Like a guy comes home, he puts his phone away because he's like, dude, I'm here. And if present means you're acting like there's no other place you'd rather be than right there in that moment, well, is that too much for a wife to ask for a husband? Hey, you come home.
Apparently, sometimes it is.
Dude. Yes.
Yeah.
So the problem is when neither of the people are doing it, is who's going to be the first one to care for that plant.
Start watering.
And here's two holdbacks that I notice people have. Number one, they forget that you don't just water a plant one day and all the brown goes away. It takes time for that thing to be nursed back to health.
Yep.
I learned that by watering the grass. My dad would be like, that brown spot needs water, and I'd have to water it for like an extra 10 or 15 minutes a day, and it would take like 2 weeks for the thing to actually not become crunchy brown anymore and start to be lush, and so it takes time.
Yes, it does.
And number two, I think the motivation for most people that have a problem with this is if they start to water it and the brown starts to go away a little bit, they start to get discouraged that the other person isn't watering back. And I feel like on that second one, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because we've had this time from time to time in our relationship where one is maybe watering more than the other. But the only cure to that second one for me is when I realize I'm not doing this to get watered back. I'm doing this because this is my standard as a carer of my partner. This is just my standard.
Yep.
How have you felt? Like, because we've been in this situation where I feel like I'm watering a little more than you, or you feel like you're watering a little more than me. What's usually, is there any thought that pops into your head, or like?
Well, when we were talking about this, you were like, well, how come it's so hard, right? I was trying to think about why, and I said, let me just say it really like immature, like.
Yeah.
People feel like, and I'm going to speak from women, they're like, well, he's not doing all the things I've asked him to do. I'm literally told him, and they become immature.
Yeah.
So you said, who's going to be the person to step up and start caring and not take their foot off the gas on caring, right?
Yeah.
So that's why women feel like that. And I think at times where I feel like I'm not getting a lot from you, or you water me one day and not consistently, sometimes I feel like that.
Yeah.
And I need the consistent. We both need the consistent. And, you know, you get exhausted or live or whatever, and that's never an excuse, but that is what happens.
Yeah.
But the consistent watering, I think that's even bigger. That's a bigger statement, that we should consistently be watering.
Consistently be
and
watering.
not take, you know, we need watering every single day. And I think that's why we come up with a metric system. So you're like, oh yeah, I gotta be intentional about our relationship as well.
Yeah.
You just can't like do something for your kids and then not the next day. They need stuff. They depend on you. Your relationship, your business, everything needs that.
Yeah.
It needs watering every day.
Well, I remember that was one of the things you said. It was like, there can be this feeling of, oh, it's just a checklist.
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, well, that's called having a habit. So you need to build the habit of watering your partner.
Exactly.
And people might be like, well, what do I do to water them? Ask them.
They're probably literally telling you, or you know.
Yeah. But if you, for still some reason, feel lost, go. And this is how, well, ask them in a different way. This is how I asked you, and I asked you online when we did the podcast a while back. I said, what is the thing that you're laying in bed wishing Keith would do? Because I know for every guy's like, man, I just wish my wife would fuck me more. I wish she would make the sounds and the sights that I see on the videos that I watch behind locked door all by myself with my little, you know, what do they call it? Little jerking with Jergens. That's an Eminem line. Remember Eminem, the rapper? Greatest white rapper ever. Probably the greatest rapper of all.
Rings. Is that the line? Why do I know that?
So this simple concept of like, okay, wait a second. Ask your partner, hey, if you've told me a million times, I apologize. I want to hear it this time.
I'm listening now. Please tell me.
I'm listening. I'm taking notes. I care deeply to make you feel like the most loved, nourished, seen, heard, loved human being on planet Earth. And if that's your goal, then say, okay, perfect. Hey, what is the thing that you lay in bed at night wishing I would do more of?
And I said acts of service.
Without being asked.
Without being asked.
And
without me asking.
And I've taken that to heart and desired to ramp that up.
And you have.
And there's things that I told you, and you've ramped those things up in a major way. So, but here's the thing: is people hear that. Oh, it's so beautiful. View. I love this. I love being from here. I love seeing this place. For those of you who don't know, Brian, show them the view. Show them the view, brother. Let their
look at the water. How
eyes
clear it is.
Feast upon the glory that is Newport Beach, Crystal Cove.
Take it in. Love your surroundings.
That's the other thing, is ask them, what would it be like? And if you need to use this analogy, use this analogy. Hey, you know what? I realize that everybody has some sort of care and feeding instructions, some sort of care and handling instructions. And I want to make sure that you feel like the most nourished, ripe, fresh, bountiful, overgrown, maybe not overgrown.
Yeah, overgrown with fruit.
Fruit.
The fruit of your labor.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
All of those things.
Of it.
What needs to happen on a daily basis, consistent basis, for you to feel those things?
And it literally, probably it's just the 15 minutes a day, probably with someone.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm so busy, or I'm like, I'm good. Are you good? We're good. We're like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
We're good. And I even like that conversation. It feels good even when we do that.
Yeah.
And the next day I'm like, let's hang out a little, or I need a little romance, or, you know, you just speak up and say it.
It's the asking for what you want without having a bunch of tone and attitude and all that stuff. Because that shit really, you know what it does for a guy? If a woman comes in with tone and attitude, it makes him feel like he's a loser. So
he's not doing enough.
So he instantly wants to put up his defense mode. Like, fuck you, dude. Look at all the stuff I do.
Yeah.
As opposed to a woman.
I'm here to save the day.
We always want to. That's just, it's built into our DNA.
Exactly.
We love that shit. So if you say, and I like how you say this, hey, I need a little more romance. Can I get a little more romance? you're not saying you're not romantic and you're a piece of shit and oh my God, you're a failure. You're just saying, hey, I could use a little more of this. Just like a plant that if it starts to get a little brown on the edge, you go, oh shit, you know what?
You need a little more water.
We need a little more something here.
You need some food there.
And we don't yell at the plant or get mad at the plant. We just go, that's the plant you got, man. That's the plant you got. I wonder if people are hearing us saying this, going, yeah, that's easy for you guys because you guys are both committed to becoming these people for each other.
That has not been easy.
No, it has not been. Now we both have this attitude of, hey, I want to serve, I want to show up. What would you say to somebody who's like spouse isn't really vibing it? Like they're already to the point where she's just like, fuck you, I'm done, I'm out of here.
What do I say to the man or woman? Depends.
Okay, let's start with the man.
Let's break it down.
Yeah, break it down. Start with the man. If he's got a woman that's not that.
Well, what you just said was beautiful. Is like go to her and say,
Thank you.
I want you to feel like the most flourished plant ever. What can I do for you?
And she responds, I'm good. No, we're fine. I'm fine. We're good.
Be like, well, I feel like our relationship isn't good. I feel like we can be doing more together. What can I do for you?
I've already told you. That's what a lot of women say. You know that.
Say, well, I'm here again.
Yeah,
I'm here.
It's not losing your shit. Is what I'm hearing
Ooh,
you not saying is, don't lose your shit.
It's exactly.
Stay calm. Okay. Cool.
Always calm and giving and loving, and you guys are on the same team.
Yeah.
And you want the same
that's
things.
so powerful.
Thank you.
Well, because we forget that. It's like
instantly forget it.
Why is that?
It
so
feels
fucking,
like instantly like
why?
I hate
though?
you. I hate you.
Dude,
Isn't that
that's
sad?
It's heartbreaking that so many marriages today are people walking on eggshells, being. Oh my God! I got to tell you something that I think is really powerful. Had in a one-on-one talk that's on this very thing.
What?
Okay, so I asked the guy, hey, what brought you into married game? I promise you, this is going to tie in. I go, what brought you into married game? He goes, man, I heard you talking. You came on my feed, whatever. And he goes, I realized that my wife just seems really, it's like she critiques everything all the time. I go, oh yeah, that's fucking annoying as shit. And he was kind of like, man, Keith, I think I might not be the problem on this one, blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening.
Okay.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Because you're like, are you the problem or aren't you?
So I'm
Give
listening.
me some more. Yeah.
I'm asking all sorts of questions. I was like, just tell me about that. He goes, well, you sure? I go, I know what I'm doing here. Just keep telling me about this thing. And I'm
what
listening.
Was her response?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Exactly. You're like, tell me the words exactly she uses.
Yeah, because every guy wants to generalize, and they go, no. Tell me what she said. And because most guys don't actually, they don't know what she's saying. And dude, this is what she was saying. She was saying, man, I wish we had a better sex life. It was her birthday, and she made a joke. She goes, yeah, I think the sex on my 29th birthday was better than it is now. And he's like, well, I'm open, I'm ready, I'm willing. And he goes, she kind of critiques me on a lot of stuff. And I go, I'm going to tell you something you're not going to like to hear, except it's the best news you've ever heard.
Okay.
And he goes, what's that? I said, most critical women are critical because they know you're not living up to the potential that they see in you. So they have no idea, they don't know how to say, bro, you could be better at this, because our society's become so polite and it's just filled with people that are pussies that won't say anything. But I think this is more of a situation where a woman doesn't know, so she only knows how to just critique and complain about things because she knows it could be better, number one. Number two, your wife is asking for a better sex life, but what she's really saying is, can you be the man that can take me there? I don't want you ready and willing so I can lead this.
I know.
I want you to be the man that takes me to these spots, touches me in certain spots in certain ways where my body goes, whoa, fuck, that's kind of amazing. Keep doing that. And he goes, fuck, you're right. I said, so bro, the most beautiful thing about this is you get to become that guy for her. If you want to. I always ask, do you really want this girl?
Yeah.
But you got to get clear on that.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, if I could fix this sex thing, I love this lady. This lady's amazing. I feel all certain ways towards her. I said, okay, perfect. Well, then guess what? We've got fucking Operation You Become the Man who can lead this woman. And the critique may not go away immediately. But even if Jesse has some of this, because sometimes you get a little controlling, you like to tell people.
I was about to say, you nailed it completely.
Dude, I know.
Completely.
That's why
that's my mother. That's where I got it from. Like, my brain is going wild as you say these things.
But isn't it so good to connect that?
Yes.
That most critical women are just saying, I see so much more in you, and I don't know what to do or to say to get you to step the fuck up.
Yep.
And
even I remember feeling like that with you, and I even said the things, but I was very critical. Because I'm like, you're not, it's,
Yeah, well, that's what I told him. I said,
frustrating.
Well, that's the other thing I said, you're in good luck. Because everything your wife said, my wife said to me. And I realized once I became the man that she was proud to be seen with, proud to be in the arms of, pumped and excited and all excited to be with.
To tie it all back. Exactly.
That's what I do, Jess.
Wow.
That's what I do.
Nailed it.
So this watering of the plant is, you got to understand, hey, to get it out of its decayed and dried up and dying is going to take a lot of extra effort, because what a lot of guys feel like is, man, God, this feels like an extra job. It's like, dude, it is your job. But it's because these are new habits. Once you learn the habit, they start to flow. And you start to live every day. This guy is driving. So those are the things we've discovered. And that's the tie back is...
We nailed it.
Understanding it will feel like daily stuff because it is daily stuff.
Yep. It's not in your nature to be doing that.
And here's a little analogy I want to give for the guys, because a lot of guys in America love sports. They like watching sports and they're really into sports, and it is what it is. So here's a sports analogy that I think that would serve them well. Even if you score a ton of touchdowns and you win 49-3 in one game, next day, the score starts 0-0 again. So you don't get all this extra, you can't take touchdowns or home runs into the next game. Every game is different. Every day is different. And so ultimately what I believe guys are wanting to feel, and I think that we've started to feel this in Married Game more than ever, is this energy of, I want to win at life. I want to win in my marriage. I want to feel the excitement and the honor of, I know my wife loves me. Like, I don't have to guess. Her actions line up with her words, and she's truly, genuinely proud of me and honored to be with me. That's what every guy wants. The answer to that is become that guy that any woman would feel that way. Basically, become a fucking stud. That's what we're teaching guys to be. Be a stud.
Who doesn't want to be with who doesn't not want to be with a stud?
Exactly.
I do.
You want to be with a stud.
I want to be with a stud.
Yeah. And guess what? Guys,
I am.
Yeah, you are. But guys want to be a stud.
Yeah.
And not just in the marriage, they want to win in the marketplace too. They want to slay the buffalo as well as anybody slayed the buffalo. And what I believe that this game analogy is why we use the name, like whether Married Game, Game Changers, Life Game, all the things that we embody. Just imagine the score starts at 0 every single day, and set out to win the day. I learned that win the day concept from our favorite guy ever, Andy Frisella. Win the day. Just imagine you wake up and go, you know what? Score is 0-0 again. How am I going to win today?
Yeah.
And that's how we show for our dials. That's how we show up for each other. And that's actually how this winning, this momentum really kicks off. And it's because you have to build habits that are built around high standards.
So
if you're
water
willing
every
to do
day.
Water every day.
And don't be like, well, I did the dishes yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't carry on.
Doesn't matter. Yesterday's touchdown doesn't count for today's game.
That's good.
Period. So, with that being said, any closing comments on any of this?
This was a different feel.
Yeah, driving down PCH.
It is.
You haven't backseat drove me once, so well done.
You're doing pretty good, actually, and that is not a lie. I would say.
Well, I'm getting hungry, so I'm ready for some sushi. So let's do that, guys. It's an honor to be able to serve you through this podcast. We are censored in quite a different couple of platforms. I've got ad accounts shut down. I couldn't even run ads for this show even if I wanted to.
Is it because we say harsh things?
I don't know if it's because we say harsh things or because my view of the government isn't always like real pro them. And since big tech is probably in bed with big government and they are giving each other's hand jobs left and right, when I speak about, elections that I don't think are fair and what have you, they shut us down. But a lot of people that listen to us, I think from what a lot of you have said, whether you've come through the Married Game program, whether you've seen us out and about, whether you've sent us DMs or sent us messages or emails, it's overwhelmingly 1,000 to 1. Damn, you've really helped my marriage.
Yeah.
Just applying what I learn on your guys' social media or by listening to this podcast. And so,
God, that feels so good.
It's the greatest feeling on planet Earth.
It really is.
It's the greatest feeling on planet Earth to know that insights that we've gained and just we're bold enough to share, because we know that a lot of people disagree with our views.
Pain.
It was our pain was our professor. It's why we understand this so well, and it's why it resonates. But I also understand that there's guys out there in a really dark pit, and women too, but mainly there's guys going, dude, I'm winning in my business. I'm losing in my body right now. But man, do I feel so disconnected from my wife. And I don't know what to do to get her to actually want me. And there's a whole process that we take guys through in Married Game, not only virtually, but also at our live event, of helping them understand and see what's really going on. And fixing this is possible. We've helped over 300 guys actually fix it for real. These aren't Band-Aids. These aren't 3 lines to get your wife hot and heavy and slipping around the leather seats with you. It's, dude, if you follow these instructions and you become this guy, your wife will either love you like crazy that you've never experienced, or you will have such a high standard and view of you that you will not settle for anything less than your absolute best. And that all comes back to you and putting your focus on certain things that we've learned actually move the needle. Because there's a lot of stuff that people are saying that doesn't move the needle, and the people saying it aren't very fuckable, aren't in a relationship with somebody who's fuckable, and don't actually understand the psychology of what gets humans to really act the way that we want them to act. Not because it's what we want, but it's because it's in their best interest.
True transformation.
We're tired. Change. We're done with the change game. We're into total transformation or nothing at all. So if that sounds interesting to you, if our voice is the voice of hope in your dark pit right now, go to marriedgame.com, book a call with us. We want to chat with you. We want to point you in the direction to help set the captives free. And you know what I'm talking about, man. If you're listening and you go, man, I feel like I'm trapped, I'm a captive of my own doing, we're going to show you how to unloose your ropes and to walk out of that jail cell powerful again. So head to marriedgame.com. Spread this word with people that you might know it. Razz them a little bit and say, hey man, I don't think you're getting laid the way you need to in your marriage. You got to listen to this crazy couple spitting knowledge, truth, and fire. And with that being said, Jesse, what should we tell them to do? Keep on crushing it? That shit's contagious.
I can't. I just can't.
So long, folks.